Good morning. Today I want to talk about the latest thing in my life, which is improv. But what I want to talk about is not specifically improv, but what it's brought to me and where it's taken me. And it helps to go back to my gem number one, which was the Eskimo story, about how people come into our lives that are basically providing us with a direction in which to go. If you listen to gem number one, you'll hear what I'm talking about. Anyway, I took my dog to the dog park. Oh, here's my dog. Hi, handsome. I took my dog to the dog park, and I was waiting to meet a friend, and there was a woman there who I just started talking to. There were quite a few people there, but this woman and I started talking for some reason, and within minutes of talking to her, she told me that I should go to this theater that she named that's in my town, and take improv classes. As I said in the first gem, when I first heard the Eskimo story, it was told, the person saying this said, you know, that it's important to, he says, I've learned to recognize Eskimos when I see them, and he says, and it's also important to recognize when you are the Eskimo. Anyway, and this woman I recognized immediately as an Eskimo. So I went to my iPad, which is pretty much always with me, and looked it up, and gosh, the next 8-week class started the following Tuesday. So I registered, and I've been hooked ever since. Improv is the classes that some people go because they want to end up on stage. That wasn't my point at all. But the skills that one uses for improv are very much the skills that I needed to nurture in my system. They're being in the here and now. You have to be in the here and now when you're doing improv. They're using right brain, being creative. A lot of the stuff I'm studying right now is about the left and right brain and the different hemispheres, and I'll talk some more about that in other videos. I'll probably do several videos today. Anyway, you have to be in your right brain. It's fun. So the laughter and the game playing and the interacting with others is all very stimulating socially and also stimulating for the brain chemicals. They get the endorphins going, and it's just fun. I haven't missed one class. I'm now enrolled in 3 because I love it. I'm taking anyway, it's wonderful. And I also encourage anybody who, there's a young woman that I sort of mentor, and I what would be the word, scholarshiped her into the improv classes. They're really inexpensive. And they go around, by the way, these particular improv class, the school goes around, and they'll do workshops for corporations and stuff. It's just valuable people skills, valuable thinking skills. Anyway, loving improv. And then all of a sudden I'm finding improv everywhere. We were in class the other day, and the teacher was talking about, I keep hearing Joseph Campbell. Well, maybe you guys had all heard of him, but I was thinking of somebody else, somebody that was like a novel writer. That's not who this is. Joseph Campbell is famous for The Hero's Journey, A Hero with 1,000 Faces, and he's now deceased, but there's a lot of material on YouTube, on PBS, and so forth about Joseph Campbell. I'm sitting in class the other day in improv, and the instructor has us round up some chairs so he can talk for a while, and he begins to talk about the hero's journey, referencing Joseph Campbell quite a bit. He begins to describe my life, and I'm not going to be able to do it from memory here. I should have had some notes, but there's a hero in the story who has a certain kind of life, and then something happens, and this thing that happens, also by Keith Johnstone, who writes about improv, is called the tilt. Something happens that puts their life on a tilt, and in Star Wars, it was when Luke Skywalker was living with his aunt and uncle on the farm, and then these robots come, and there's a call to action, and then the next thing is there's a call to action, but The hero is resistant. They want to stay in their life as it is. So the hero resists. And then something happens that compels them to move forward and to leave behind this life that they knew. And then they go on these adventures, and there's these tests and trials and so forth. And they meet other people, and they determine who they can trust and who they can't trust. And they sometimes have a mentor that comes along. And then they face this battle that's going to resolve this quest. The hero has an objective, something that they must do. You know, Luke Skywalker had to destroy the Death Star. There's lots of stories like that. So, I mean, lots of pieces like that. There's always a piece like that. And then, the hero is almost killed, or he almost dies, or we just don't know how they're ever going to make it in the story. And then finally they achieve their objective, and then they return, the hero returns to where they started, but now they've changed. And now they're different, and the story tells how they're different. So what I figured out from this, and it's the reason I wanted to share it in case I'm not alone in this phenomenon. I'm sitting there in this class, and I'm listening to the instructor tell the pieces of the hero's journey, and I realized this fits my life right now. I don't want to go into details, but there's a major upheaval that happened in my life. It was not something I planned. I did not want it. I did not like it. It was ugly, and something that happened, and that was my tilt. And I resisted, the change that was being required by the tilt. I resisted, and then, at one point there was no going back. I had to move forward. What's missing for me is the objective. That's what's missing. I'm going to improv. I'm doing improv. I'm doing my bliss, as Oprah talks about. So that part's correct, but I don't have an objective yet. And one of the things that our teacher was saying the other day was, if the hero, and he doesn't know I'm sitting there self-absorbed, he said, if the hero doesn't have an objective, we don't care about the hero. If we don't know what they're going to go do, we're not going to root for them to go do it. And I think that that's one of the things that has held me back on some days when I don't feel like I have an objective. So I don't care about me. I don't care what happens, you see? It's, if I want to care about me and need to be my own hero, I need to have an objective. So I think right now that what the objective has to be is just making a difference for others, whatever form that may take. Following my bliss, making a difference for others. Now, making a difference has been on my palette for a long time. That's been something I've wanted to do for 10, 12 years, since I went back to school. Went back to college late in life, and that was all I knew I wanted to do, was make a difference. Didn't know what that looked like. And anyway, I have lots more to say. I'm not sure what, I'm going to have to figure out what to call this this gem, but I guess self-awareness and following my bliss. I don't know. I'd love to get comments so that I can find out where it is that people are that are watching this, and what can I do to make a difference for you. Okay, thanks.